Bangladesh Air Force is a symbol of pride of our country and nation. Dedication, devotion, and hard work of each and every members have contributed to develop this organization bit by bit. Strong sense of determination and commitment has made each of the bygone moments as glorious memories. One of such glorious moments was the time period of 1989 to 1990. All the activities of the Bangladesh Air Force were captured in a documentary of 35mm colored celluloid reel. But in the time passage, those films became unusable. In 2010, after 20 years, the Air Headquarters Training Directorate recovered those negatives. Most of the 17,000 feet negatives were destroyed by then. A lot of work has been currently taken up to save these negatives and turn it into a full-fledged documentary. In such an attempt, we thank all the Air Force members, crew associated with filmmaking, and the well-wishers. This is not just a documentary, but considered to be a valuable evidence for future, both for the nation and the Bangladesh Air Force. It is difficult to forget history than to remember it. That is why this documentary has been named Smritipunjo. The sky allures the adventurous to touch the wild blue yonder. It is the intense call of a challenging life. The vivacious green, the vastness of paddy fields, the sheer strength of the ocean web, the hill ranges standing like a sleepless guard, and above all, the endless blue sky. All this constitutes the golden country, our beloved motherland, Bangladesh. In 1971, the then Pakistani occupation forces cracked down on this country. The struggle for freedom began with all strata of people retaliating. During those blood-soaked days, the nucleus of Bangladesh Air Force was established on 28 September 1971 in the remote place called Dimapur in Assam, India. Bangladesh Air Force started her indomitable journey with an old otter, a Dakota, and an Alute 3 helicopter. The thunderous emergence of Bangladesh Air Force made the struggle for independence more intense and forceful. A new country, Bangladesh, was born on 16th December 1971. At that time, Bangladesh Air Force started operation from 3 Air Force bases. The Air Force base in the capital Dhaka was named after the heroic warrior Bir Uttam Air Vice Marshal Khadimul Bashar. The Air Force base in the port city, Chittagong, was named after the Patriot Sergeant Zaharul Haq, and the Air Force base in the southwestern region, Jessore, was named after Bisreshto Flight Lieutenant Matiur Rahman. Skilled intellect blended with patriotism makes it a challenging career for indomitable youth. The death-defying fearless airmen fly in the sky like sleepless guards promising to keep it safe. Filled with a lot of hope and enthusiasm, the highly spirited youths enter the Bangladesh Air Force. BAF Academy plays a vital role in transforming them into air warriors. A rigorous training is essential to develop a disciplined and devoted defense force. The best place for the beginning of the training is parade ground. Healthy mind, healthy body. Flight cadets need to cross all barriers to reach the height of excellence and targeted goal of physical fitness. A ceaseless effort goes into developing a flight cadet into a skilled sportsman too. As a part of the training, the flight cadets pass through extreme hurdle. The flight cadets begin a new journey with theoretical education. They enroll in different language training classes to get acquainted with them. To build oneself as expert airman, flight cadet needs to get himself introduced to each and every part of the aircraft. Flight cadets are given hands-on training in special laboratories. flight cadet learns the technique of taking off an aircraft in a simulator. Just the way an airman has the risk of life, he also has the indomitable thirst to achieve the impossible. He needs to be competent in air training, besides other trainings. The boundless sky comes into his hands through rigorous training and hard work. A cadet is required to take part in all the trainings of armed forces. He is carefully groomed as an officer of the armed forces. As a member of the armed forces, one needs to take part in debate competitions. Flight cadet not only needs to fight as a warrior to save the country, but also to lead and plan for a war when needed. Flight cadet is required to take part in conduct and behavior training in order to build himself in future as an officer who will lead the nation. At last, the much awaited day of graduation comes after a lot of hard work and intense training. A flight cadet eagerly waits for this day while going through the rigorous training. This is the day when a flight cadet becomes a commissioned officer of Bangladesh Air Force. He steps into a new horizon, forgetting all exhaustion. The Bangladesh Air Force Academy has been formed with the slogan, "The blue sky is my periphery." The new building of this academy was inaugurated on 2nd January 1990. The meteorology squadron plays a vital role in informing a pilot about the overall weather condition before flying. Before flying, each and every aircrew needs to attend a briefing to know about the plan and overall flying condition. The endless blue sky lies in front of the highly spirited pilots to safeguard our sovereignty. Color is something very honorable for a unit of the armed forces. In the color-giving ceremony, the oath is taken for the devotion to the Almighty and asks the strength for dedication and service to the motherland. In 9th November 1989, BAF Academy received the Air Force color from the Air Chief for excellent performance in conducting training activities. Every year, the Sports Control Board arranges inter-base sports competition. training of the airman begins in recruit training school. It is necessary to take part in all the military trainings to build oneself as a member of the armed forces. An airman has to abide by the strict rules and regulations. After long 9 months of rigorous training, an airman achieves the target. Through acquiring advanced skill, an airman joins hands with other comrades to serve the nation. There is no alternative to the hard work of an airman in rejuvenating the Air Force. Their ceaseless effort shoves away the sheer thought of danger and keeps every part of the aircraft effective. The airmen are given various important tasks as soon as they join after the training. They diligently carry out those tasks to ensure the aircrafts are maintained in the optimum operational readiness. The pilots take off the aircraft into the blue sky after receiving it from those airmen. The pride of our country, pilots take on all the responsibilities of the aircraft. Our pilots have commendably created a new era through strong discipline, rules, and regulations. Tasks like dropping soldiers in remote places are carried out very perfectly by the air warriors of our country. They are running tirelessly over the jungles and mountains, risking their lives to save the country and transport food and resources to remote places. In times of catastrophe, the helicopters of the Air Force play a vital role in rescuing. The efficiency and operation of the Air Force in water, land, and sky has become our pride now. The Air Force is immaculately performing the important task of reaching relief materials to the distressed in times of natural calamities. Bangladesh Air Force has always been beside the distressed in times of any danger. They have saved life by quickly transferring serious patients and distressed people to safer places. The headquarters of Bangladesh Air Force plans, supervises, and manages all the activities of Air Force. Under the leadership of Chief of Air Staff, new plans are executed, thus unfolding new horizons for defense. Gradually, the BAF is moving towards the most advanced technology. Starting from scratch, the Bangladesh Air Force has entered the era from subsonic to supersonic. Fighting life every now and then, they are the brave soldiers who are keeping the victory of freedom elevated. Night flying demands high skill for flying an aircraft. The pilots achieve this skill through a special training. Taking immense risk, these pilots prepare themselves to face any danger coming in their way. Bangladesh Air Force radar keeps sharp vigilance all the time to prevent apprehension of the enemy aircraft from attacking. New modern radars are being added to the Bangladesh Air Force. A well-planned and combined effort has turned this land into an invincible base. We will keep the sky free. Our strong, fearless pilots are the sleepless guards of our blue sky. O past, you keep working secretly in your world. 28th September is Air Force Day. This day is ever vibrant in the history of Liberation War. It is an inseparable bondage between the old and the new. The memories and the rare experiences of the old encourage and overwhelm the young. Every year, the Chief of Air Staff meets and remembers those heroes whose blood has refined the Bangladesh Air Force. Shikha Anirban, the extinguishable flame, the sacrifice and love for country of those will be written in gold in the history of struggle. The inspirations of those heroes are the proofs of our conscience. We have achieved this independence after a lot of bloodshed. We owe a lot to this proud and sacrificing nation. We are committed to pay off the debt of the descendants through hard work and honesty. We will pay off this debt to the nation even if we have to give our life to save the sovereignty of our country in any adverse condition. This is our promise to the nation. We will keep the sky free.
বাংলার আকাশ রাখিব মুক্ত, বাংলার আকাশ রাখিব মুক্ত, বাংলার আকাশ রাখিব মুক্ত।
দেশের আকাশকে রাখবই মুক্ত, আমরা বিমান সেনা। স্বদেশের স্বাধীনতা রক্ষায় তাই তুলে ওঠে রক্তের প্রতিটি কণা। নিঃসীম আকাশে দুরন্ত বাতাসে আমরা মেরেছি রানা। নিঃসীম আকাশে দুরন্ত বাতাসে আমরা মেরেছি রানা। দূর আকাশকে মনে হতো একদিন স্বপ্নিল মায়াবী আকাশ। সন্ধানী দৃষ্টিতে এখনো দেখি সুন্দর রূপে প্রকাশ। ওই আকাশের দুর্নীলিমায় জীবনের স্বপ্ন বোনা। নিঃসীম আকাশে দুরন্ত বাতাসে আমরা মেরেছি রানা। দুরন্ত দুর্বার আমাদের প্রত্যয়। ক্রান্তির অবসাদ ভুলেছি, সবকিছু ডান ভুলে জীবনের উপকূলে দুর্ভেদ্য গতি তুলেছি। আমরা জাগ্রত অতন্দ্র প্রহরী, রক্ষিতে প্রস্তুত আকাশ সীমা। নিঃসীম আকাশে দুরন্ত বাতাসে আমরা মেরেছি রানা। স্বদেশের আকাশকে রাখবই মুক্ত, আমরা বিমান সেনা। স্বদেশের স্বাধীনতা রক্ষায় তাই তুলে ওঠে রক্তের